Hi everyone, welcome to B2B Freelance Writer. In this video, we'll look at how to build a high converting portfolio without a website. Now, right off the bat, I'll tell you that I'm not against having a website. Having a website is very good. It establishes your online presence. We've talked about this before. It acts as a high proof signal, but you do not absolutely need it to get started. The thing about a website and a portfolio is that they both serve the same purpose, which is they act as proof signals. They act sort of like a guarantee of your skill, especially as a beginner. But one of them matters more than the other, and it's the portfolio. We tend to think of the website as the first thing to build when we are starting out, but really the portfolio matters more because it's displaying your skills, and this is what they will ultimately hire you for. Ideally, you want to have both. Again, I'm not against having a website, it's very good, but you don't need it to get started. And I am a big proponent of getting started as fast as possible and then patching up along the way. If you have a good LinkedIn profile, some form of online presence, and a landing page like a Facebook page, and a portfolio, you can get started and then you can have the website later. So, how do you build a portfolio completely for free without having a website? Number one, the actual portfolio, you need 3 strong sample pieces. 3 is the minimum. I'd say 3 to 5. More than 5, it gets a little bit overwhelming. So you have a niche, let's say B2B SaaS. You pick a company within that niche, ideally a very strong company like HubSpot if you're writing for CRM companies. You check out their blog posts, you find a gap that you can fill, and you write something about that. Or even if it's not a gap, for example, HubSpot, unlikely you'll find a gap that you can fill. You can just write an article that matches their brand voice. Step number 2 is to organize everything professionally. So you can use Google Drive. You have a folder, your name, B2B writing samples, or your business name as well. I sort of had a business name back then. It doesn't really matter. And each file has to be named clearly as such. So your name, blog post, SaaS. You can have it as a PDF. I like having it as a PDF. I feel that it feels better to open a PDF than a Google Doc, but that's just my preference. You can have a Google Doc as well. And the third one is definitely one of the most important part, is to have context for each piece. Don't assume that they will just read every piece of in your portfolio. They won't. They might read one of it, but more importantly, they will skim over it. So what you can do at the beginning, before your article starts, you have a sentence that describes what the piece is, who is it for, and why you wrote it that way. Here's an example. It gives context to your portfolio. It doesn't feel like it's a random thing that you are just putting out there. And often they'll just read that and then scroll through your article, maybe glance at it for 20 seconds and then move on. So that sentence becomes really, really important. You can elaborate on that sentence as well. If you've written for a real client, this is where you can have the key metrics, but I'm assuming that you have not. I'm assuming that you're a total beginner. So you can just say that you've written for that company and this is what you aimed to do with your writing. You can absolutely have a great portfolio just with Google Docs. It does not mean that you should stop there. Again, I'm not saying to stop there. I'm not saying that this is what you need to get clients forever. I'm saying that it is perfect to get started. It is the bare minimum to get started, but obviously adding more proof signals to your online presence, whether it's a website, more optimized LinkedIn profile, recommendations on LinkedIn from your ideal clients, testimonials from your ideal clients, all of these things, collect as many as you can and add them. But if you've been delaying getting started because you don't have a website, then get a portfolio as soon as possible with Google Drive and get started right now. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.